Hi, my name is Sarah Sundin. Welcome to day 2 of the Courage Chronicles. I don't know about you, but I need courage on a daily basis. Oftentimes we face things that we just can't handle on our own. So I've teamed up with 4 of my author friends to talk about courage and to share about courage from our novels. So we're going to be doing a fun giveaway too. So Regina Jennings, Amanda Dykes, Karen Barnett, and Joanne Bischoff and I are getting together. We're giving away copies of our latest books. Plus, we're giving away a painting that we're all working on together. What's fun is that only Joanne is an actual painter. The rest of us are trying something new, and trying something new usually requires some courage. So last week, Regina started the painting, and then she mailed it to me, and now I'm doing my part, and then after it dries, I'm mailing it on to Amanda, and she'll do her part, and so we're passing it on through all 5 of us. And at the end of the week of the Courage Chronicles, we're going to give away not just our books, but we're going to give away the painting that we all worked on together. So the book I'm giving away is The Sky Above Us, and this novel is set during World War II, and it features Adler Paxton, who is a P-51 Mustang fighter pilot in the days leading up to D-Day, and Violet Lindstrom, who is an American Red Cross worker who runs the Aero Club, which is a recreational club at his airbase. Now, when we think of courage, we often think of people doing big and dangerous things. Now, in The Sky Above Us, Adler flies his P-51 over Nazi-occupied Europe. So, woo, there's his P-51. And for me, that would take a whole bunch of courage. But for Adler, not so much. He's a good pilot, and he's just naturally brave, and he's not afraid of dying. So that doesn't really bother him. But what does take courage for him? Facing his family. 3 years before, he did things that hurt every single person in his family, and now he's estranged from them. He hasn't seen them for 3 years, hasn't talked to them for 3 years. But thanks to his friendship with Violet, he's starting to realize that he needs to face them. He needs to apologize for what he's done and at least ask for forgiveness. And that's going to take Adler a whole bunch of courage. And what about Violet? She sees herself as brave. After all, her lifelong goal has become a missionary overseas, and in that fact she isn't able to do that because of the war, but that's one of the reasons she signed up for the Red Cross. She wanted to go overseas to serve. Her heart is for underprivileged children, and so she's hoping to work with refugee children. However, the Red Cross assigns her to this Aero Club, so not only is she not working with children, but she's working with flyboys, arrogant, rough-talking, rude flyboys. She is not happy about this. So for her to do this requires some courage. So just as Violet is not meant to be a club director, I'm a writer, not a painter. There's a reason I haven't painted since junior high, because I'm not very good at it. But today for the Courage Chronicles, I'm doing something new and something I'm not trained for. So fortunately, we're using a kit from Let's Make Art, and it came up with a really nice video tutorial. So I watched the tutorial, and I think I'm ready to go. And it said I need lots of water, so I have a bowl with just plain water in it. And then I have my bowl. I'm working with only one color, which is nice. I'm working with blue, which I like because it's my favorite color. So it said first I have to get the paper all wet, because I guess the colors all kind of bleed with each other. And so I have to get everything really wet. I'm kind of nervous because Regina already did her part, and she did such a good job. And so I'm a little nervous about this first drop of color, because I have to put it up at the top where Regina did her work. And if I get it up too high, it's going to mess up all the beautiful work that she did. And I don't want to do that. And also when I come down to the bottom where the other ladies are going to have to add their work, need more water, I'll have to be careful that I don't mess it up, because that'll affect what they're doing. And sometimes that's what requires courage, is that when we know our work is going to affect, what we're doing is going to affect others. We don't want to hurt other people. We don't want to disappoint other people. We don't want to make things difficult for others. So sometimes that requires courage. Okay. But other people are often the source for us to help overcome and as a source of courage in our lives. I don't know about you, but I need my friends. And in The Sky Above Us, Adler gets a lot of courage from his friend Nick, and Violet from her friend Kitty. And those friendships are really important for them. And honestly, I'm really glad I'm doing this painting project with my 4 friends, because we've been encouraging each other, we've been sharing tips, and I know that even if I totally mess up, they'll still like me, which is useful. We'll see how this is going to turn out. It's very interesting for me because it says you have to work quickly, and I'm a slow, methodical person, so this is the type of thing that's not very forgiving for me. Writing I can edit, but painting not so much. The water is a little bit more forgiving. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. The hardest part for me with this is resisting the urge to make it all uniform and perfect, because it actually is supposed to be a little bit uneven and inconsistent, and so I have to resist my natural urges there. So now I need to let it dry so I can mail it off to Amanda, and I can't wait to see what she does and the final outcome. So this project reminded me a little bit of when I first started writing. I didn't major in English, I majored in chemistry and became a pharmacist. Pharmacists have no business writing novels. So for me, writing took a great deal of courage, especially when I started sending it off to editors and agents. So I'd like to share some of the Bible verses that encouraged me most in those days. The first is Joshua 1:5-9. Joshua is about to go into the promised land and face all the giants in the land in battle, and so he needed tons of courage. So the Lord told him, "As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." I like how God has to tell Joshua 3 times to be strong and courageous, because I need that repetition too. But look at the main reason he can be courageous, because God will be with him, and God will be with us too. He's promised. And one of my favorite New Testament promises of courage is from Paul's writing to Timothy, who was a young pastor who felt really out of his league. In 2 Timothy 1:7, Paul says to young Timothy, For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Isn't that wonderful? God gave us a spirit of power and love and self-discipline. That gives us courage to face anything that comes our way. Well, thank you for joining me for my portion of the Courage Chronicles. I'm now going to pass my paintbrush on to Amanda, and she's going to finish the painting, and then she'll pass it on to Karen Barnett and then to Joanne Bischoff. So make sure to visit Amanda's blog tomorrow, where she can share her portion of the painting and some words of encouragement from her novel, Whose Waves These Are, which I love, by the way. So see you tomorrow. Bye.